Hi, this is Holly from the Sweet Simple Things, and welcome to my channel where we make healthy and nourishing recipes the whole family will love. Make sure to hit subscribe to see all the latest recipes. Today we're going to make a smoked boneless pork roast in a chipotle-orange marinade, and this is one of the best things I've made in a long time. We're going to start by making our marinade, which is a half can of chipotle peppers and adobo, some olive oil, orange juice, and then I'm going to add about 5 whole large garlic cloves, some spices like salt, pepper, and cumin, and a little bit of cinnamon, and then my cilantro. And then we're just going to pulse this a few times in the blender. It does not need to be blended until perfectly smooth. And then into like a big Ziploc bag, I'm adding half of a large onion diced into small pieces, and then our boneless pork roast. This is a pork sirloin roast, and pork sirloin is very lean. There's no fat cap on this or anything. So we want to make sure we keep it very moist, which is why I'm doing the marinade here. So pour your marinade on it, and then kind of squish it around to make sure it covers every part, and then we're going to put it in the fridge for 2 hours. Once you're ready to smoke it, get your smoker turned on to about 250 degrees. And then we're going to get kind of a little foil pack ready for it. I'm taking 2 large pieces of foil here, and I'm going to overlap the ends just like the last 2 inches or so. And then I'll kind of fold it up, making a little bit of a tent in the middle, or like a kind of a stand almost. And then I'm going to just fold it down to create the seam. And this will help just keep the juices in, packed around the pork so they don't seep out everywhere. Laying that down in my 9x13 pan, and now we're going to get out the pork to rest the pork on top. So I'm cutting off the deni now. You could have done this before marinating it, but I'm just going to cut that off. And then I'm going to dump the rest of the marinade on it and just make sure it's nicely coated with all of it, because this sauce is super good. Go ahead and stick your meat thermometer in the thickest part. And then we're going to get this on our smoker at 250 until it reaches 160. At that point, we're going to take it off to add a little more liquid. I'm going to add another half a cup of orange juice to keep it moist while it cooks and to add a little more flavor, a little bit of sweetness. And then I'm going to cover this boneless roast with some orange slices. Again, just for the flavor there during the final part of the smoke. We need to smoke this pork roast until it hits at least 190, but we're going to follow our meter thermometer's recommendations and go to 205 degrees to get beautiful, perfect pulled pork. So at this point, the pork is technically cooked to where it could be for food safety purposes, but in order to get pork to pull apart nicely, you need to cook it actually a little farther, at least 190, if not 200 to 205, because that's where the collagen breaks down and then you're allowed to pull it apart. So now I'm making a foil tent. I'm just pinching all the foil together so it's completely enclosed. If you need to add another small piece of foil on top to do this, you can. And then I'm going to get that meat thermometer back in, and then we'll put it back on the smoker for the last round here. Okay, it reached 205 degrees. I'm taking it off. We're going to let this rest for a half hour. The rest is really important. This is what allows the juices to redistribute so that you don't have a dry, hard, tough piece of meat. So make sure you do that rest. You're going to want to dig in right away, but it's important. All right, so our meat's rested. And let's go ahead and slice this. So if you want to eat it more like a traditional roast, you could slice it if you want. And look at that, it looks beautiful. But I decided we're going to eat it shredded. So I'm using claws to pull it apart. You can use 2 forks. This meat was so good. It was so juicy and tender, and it'd be perfect to eat with some barbecue sauce, or if you want to eat it like on pork carnitas. So just finish shredding it up and get it on a serving dish, and you're going to love this. It is a little spicy, so if you don't like spicy, you might want to cut back on those chipotle peppers a bit, but it is so good, and this is going to be one we make a lot. So I hope your family loves this as much as ours does.